Hey everybody, welcome back to Bank Shot. It's Matt. We're gonna get right back into the chat I had with Alex, Chris. Also, shout out to Cody, the three guys behind Evaluate.Market. Really awesome chat we had in part one. We're gonna continue in part two, where we're gonna talk about the account value part of their site, which is one of the probably most used features. I know it's really great to be able to kind of watch your account value rise and rise, especially on a day like today where it certainly has risen for, I would think, almost everybody, unless you're selling a lot of things. But, I'd be remiss before we get into the video here and my chat with them if to not take a moment to talk about this, just the state of NBA Top Shot. And I'm not going to go too deep into everything, but, it's just been an amazing few days when it comes to mainstream coverage. We've got Gary V making appearances on CNBC, and shout outs to his blog and his site and his Twitter, everything there. We've got ESPN running articles, mentions on podcasts. We've got people like Logan Paul shouting it out on his podcast. And then, tonight I'm recording this on Thursday. The If there was a chance that the site was going to maybe be stable and the marketplace was going to be up tonight to be able to do some things, Josh Hart, the NBA player, had to go ahead and tweet about NBA Top Shot, which is freaking awesome, but probably put to bed any chance of us getting a marketplace live tonight, because I'm sure the traffic is through the roof. I know he was looking to, at least what he posted was he was looking to open some packs, possibly on Twitch or live stream somewhere. That's going to be put on hold. Everything's going to be put on hold. So what better time than to check out this video, learn a little bit more about a great tool like the Evaluate.Market site, and while we wait to Top Shot to get back online, which I'm sure will be happening soon, I anticipate that to be back for the weekend in full force, and I would love to see a pack drop, even just a common pack drop this weekend. Here's hoping. So appreciate everybody. Please continue to support the channel. Just amazing response to the last video. Keep the likes coming. Keep the feedback coming. I love seeing the comments. I love seeing all the subscribes. So appreciate it. Let's get right to it and have a good one. Let's move over to that account value page and
Sure, and I can run you through it. So real quick at the account value, you can type any name on there and it'll kind of almost in real time search the database. So if you start typing, your name, it'll kind of autofill. So, if you can pull up your account if you want to.
Sure, let's do it.
So see how he starts typing bank shot, and then, there's two different bank shots that kind of autofilled, and he's able to click on it, and boom. So it gives you a pretty quick account valuation. And so that account value is based off the floor of what the lowest ask is right now in the market price. In the future, like Chris mentioned earlier, we are looking to make that a little more exact, because obviously it doesn't take into account your current serial number, right? And serial numbers play a big role, especially in the top 20%, what a value of a certain moment would be. And so we're looking at different ways to make that more accurate without, kind of upsetting some people. So the account value is basically like, what's the lowest your account is worth now? And I think that making any gradual changes so that, we're fine tuning and telling you exactly what it is something that we have to be careful with, because it kind of gets to the subjective territory when you start reaching at those higher serials. But we're working on different solutions. We're thinking about different solutions for that.
Nice. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting what you guys end up putting into here as far as other solutions, because I understand where you're coming from on that, and I almost feel like keeping it closer to the low market price is probably the safer play. But yeah, no, I'll definitely be watching this page to see what you guys end up doing, because I think getting the number closer to what maybe you call like a true value of something would be exciting to see. But also, it as you said, there's a lot of subjectiveness in that. So it's cool. I imagine that everything else on the page works just like the one we were just on, right? So
yeah, pretty much the same features. We did do a little refactor in the backend in something that's coming up new. So what is currently not on this page that's coming in, I would say within the next day, two at the very latest, is when people went and hovered over and clicked on the moment on the left, they expected and wanted to be able to go from here to the moments page and then have it pre-populate with that particular moment. Currently, it takes you to Top Shot. So what we did is we added a blue icon similar to that blue icon at the top where it says moments. To the left of that, where if you click on it, it'll take you to the moments tab and pre-populate, the moment data and also the scatter plot and the volume chart with that particular player. So if you want to go see at how your moments are doing, not just the market price, but more in depth, you can go and do that. So that feature's coming in. We're going to add that. And then so some quick transparency on the market price. So like the transactions, that's pretty up to date. I would be able to put my name on it and say that within 5 to 10 minute window, it's accurate with the lowest market prices. So really the bottleneck or what takes the longest time is that moment count. So that moment count can range between being corrected within 30 minutes and within, an hour and a half. It just kind of, just depends. And so that's our bottleneck. And that's kind of the first, candidate that we're looking at to get that time to get, as close to 1 second or as close to zero or real time as possible. That's the number one thing that we're kind of currently targeting. But, as far as the actual market price, you can rest assured that if you click on that moment and it takes you to Top Shot, it's pretty accurate for what it's at within 5 to 15 minutes.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds really quick to me. So I can't imagine anyone would need it that much quicker. But no, it's a great job, guys. This is awesome. And being able to, I hadn't even thought about that feature of clicking this and having it bring back to the moments page. But when you said it, it makes total sense. And I could see myself using it a lot. So
yeah, Matt, and honestly, for us too, like we were kind of kicking ourselves in the head, like how do we not think of that? But there was maybe like first day of launch, maybe 5 to 7 people within the first 30 minutes say, "Hey, it'd be cool if I can click on this and go to our moments page." It's like, oh, of course, why didn't I think of that? So yeah, I think that a big draw to our tool is that, and our Discord and community in general, is that we're willing to listen to the feedback. We want to know how to make the best tool possible for people, and the only way to do that is getting feedback and integrating with it. So, yeah, I'm like Chris said, shameless plug. Visit the Discord if you have any feedback on how to improve and your ideas to make some pages better, what you want on it. Feel free to go in there and post.
Awesome. I'll definitely make sure the link to Discord and everything's in the description for this video. So couldn't recommend it enough from my end. Guys are doing a great job, and definitely I think being able to take feedback and quickly turn that into something, if it makes sense for you guys and what you're doing, is only going to make the tool, like you said, make it even better, but it's only going to make people want to use it even more and more. So super cool. I think that's the right way to do it. I guess there's really not you tell me, it doesn't seem like there's any much more to really talk about on this tab. Not to say that it's not super awesome and probably the one that I might go to just as often as anything else, but that's kind of it for this tab, right? It does exactly what you would expect.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's kind of going to be the same, feature of functionality across all of our platform where we're looking to go forward, and why we're taking a little bit longer to get this next iteration of updates going is because we're making everything from the ground up scalable, so that if we need to drop in tables somewhere, that the search and the filter feature work as promised, but also, or as expected, but also that it's quick for us to generate. So the same features. If you see a table on one screen and it's a completely different information on another, you expect the same functionality on both. So I think that's, as far as functionality, sure. But like you said, this page, I wish I designed it in a way that I wish I would have had when I first started Top Shot. And so I think that making iterations on that based on that assumption, as if I was a very addicted Top Shot user, is the best way to go about it.
Nice. Only question that just actually I think I thought of earlier today, but and I don't know if this necessarily applies to someone like me who doesn't have a huge user or moment count, I should say, but for people that may, or just as another way to view this, have you thought about grouping all of the moments that someone may own of a particular player under kind of one row in the table here, or instead of listing them out separately, so you could kind of just see, like if you had, if you were lucky enough to have 50 different LeBron moments, you could see them all in one row.
Yeah, I think one thing is it's definitely a design choice that's different than some other tools. The reason we made that is because we're really looking to do serial-based valuation, right? So we
Sure.
want to be able to differentiate the rows that have, let's say you have two LeBron James and one's a serial like 8,402, and the other one's a number one LeBron James. We want to be able to say, hey, this row is worth, 100K, and this one's worth, you know, 50, 100, 200 bucks, whatever it is. So
Okay.
yeah, I think the main design choice around that was to kind of be able to eventually break this stuff out and look at things in a different way. Not to say that it's not impossible to have different views, to where we could group them in one view and be able to break them out otherwise. But we definitely have been focusing on getting this product out quickly. And so, for now, this is what we've got. And I think that's kind of the rationale behind it. But it's definitely a good question. And a lot of people are asking, like, hey, why are these broken out? And that's kind of our idea behind it.
Makes sense. Makes sense to me. Let's see, guys. Should I go back to the homepage? You kind of guide me from here. I know there's a few other tabs up top, but
Yeah, for
um,
sure.
let
So
me.
yeah, I think we've covered basically everything that's out right now. We're working really hard on this like market movers and top gainers and losers stuff, so that you can kind of have a little bit more of a broad view of, okay, I know that today there's a ton of sales. What's selling? What's moving? What can I get involved with? What's tanking and going to the floor? Things like that. So that's the big thing. Keep out an eye out for. And also, we've got a lot of questions on, hey, I want to compare two moments, whether it's the same player or, like a similar two players. How can I do that? And we're working on that as well in that compare moment section. But other than that, that's kind of where we're at right now.
Awesome. Is there a timeline you guys have on, like, I know you've mentioned the top gainers and losers and maybe the market movers as maybe being the top two things you're working on, or it sounds like it is. Is there a timeline that you guys feel like is close on some of those, or is it still ways out, or what? Just
For sure.
curious.
For sure. A lot of times, like development like this, it
Next
happens.
thing coming in. Yeah, is it a few days? Is it a few weeks? I mean, there's a lot
Definitely.
going on. I'm sure there's a lot that you need to kind of keep up with to keep this thing going. So
Yeah, so like a lot of this happens, slowly and then quickly and things like that. I don't want to give dates and have to delay them and whatnot, but we're fairly confident that the market mover stuff is going to be done either this week or in maybe the week or two after. And then as far as compare moments, it's a little bit further down the backlog, but I wouldn't be surprised, if either this month or next, everything you see here will be built out. Let me know if
nice,
I'm wrong, Alex. I'm more of like, originally I was really involved in the front end. Lately, I've just been doing like the community stuff and things like that. So I might be making promises that
Yeah,
the guys in the dev works there. But I think that's what we've been talking about internally. But I don't want to make any hard dates because sometimes you have things come up, and we don't want to release a product that's not going to be useful, or it's going to mislead people when they're buying this stuff.
yeah, and so just really quick, I'm going to take this moment to shout out our third unsung hero in Cody, the other developer that does pretty much all the backend or most of the backend stuff. I mean, he's been stellar, he's been phenomenal, and really has been kind of the guy that I mean, obviously, I don't have a camera right now because I moved and lost it. But he really doesn't have the time it takes to kind of go out and do stuff. So he's really all coding, and that being said, I kind of interact with him every day, try to help him where I can. And as far as market movers, where we probably see that. I think Chris was right in like a week, 2 weeks. Like we're talking weeks for that. And I think that the market movers, as well as the candle chart and the compare moments, I think saying that all that would be released within less than a month, is not a stretch or not crazy. That's probably what it's expected. So I think to have everything that we kind of have promised on the screen that's under construction within 3 weeks.
well, you guys are crushing it. It sounds like, I mean, that's a lot to get done in a few weeks, and I mean, at the same time, you have to be putting yourself in line queues and hitting refresh and trying to get packs, and I'm sure you guys are chasing down stuff too. So, and never mind that, you're probably busy with, and you guys, what you have here today is already amazing. I know I'm going to be using it all the time. I've already started to, so super excited, and yeah, I appreciate you pushing to get more out there. But hey, don't push things out there until they're ready to go and perfect, right? Or as good as they can be. So I think what's important is, again, I really like the fact that you put the community kind of up front and I don't want to say first, but it's kind of right there on your landing page. But it also, whether it's on Twitter or other places that I've seen, the Discord is definitely kind of shouted out and promoted as a place to go to not only kind of interact with the community and leave feedback, but also kind of, I guess, just think about, hear other people's ideas, things like that. So I definitely want to, again, you've already mentioned it, but recommend everybody take a minute to join the Discord if you haven't already, and think about, this donations received. This is really cool. That must be exciting to see that people have responded so much to your site. Is that something that you guys expected to kind of take off, or is it a surprise?
Oh, not in the way it has. I mean, like everything you see here has kind of gone from an idea to this, application in 3 weeks. And we've already kind of given ourselves, with just the donations, once we start selling those, a lot of room to expand and keep this thing going. So we're extremely thankful. We're blown away by it. I try my best to shout out every single person who donates. I post a screenshot of it and try to tag the person. We highlight them as a donor in our server. But yeah, it just means the world to us that people are really not only donating but also sharing the tool with other people and giving us feedback. It helps out a ton, and we really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, as we kind of wrap it up for today, I guess, is there anything, anything you guys want to plug outside of the Discord? Because we talked about that a bit. Is there Twitter that anyone can follow you at? Is there an email address or anything else out there that we can let people know?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, we want to thank you, not only for having us on the show and letting us demo our tool to your viewers, but also for being in the community and being active there. We want to, as far as like other things you can follow us on, we have a Twitter that's pretty active. It's just Evaluate.Market, so look us up there. And then,
Cool.
yeah, other than that, we're just on Discord. And yeah, if you go there, you can give us feedback. We've got a general chat. And I think it's at a good pace now where there's 1,200 people. So it's like there's enough people to kind of interact with, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like the Top Shot Discord where when you say something, it gets buried by 50 messages shortly after. So yeah, I think that's what I would shout out for sure.
Awesome.
As
Thanks,
for
Ed.
me, I'm going to shout out our unsung hero, not to cut you off, is again Cody, just because I know that he's putting in the time and effort and really is kind of like, the guy in the background that's, working as hard as he can to get stuff up. He's literally 24/7, and as the rest of us are, but we have a little bit easier of a job because we get to come on things like this and get to see the appreciation firsthand, for either with donors or feedback or just general love in the Discord that kind of keeps Chris and I going. But Cody, as much as we try to get that stuff to him, he's just more focused about getting this stuff up and running and done the right way for everybody. So shout out to him.
Shout out to Cody for sure, because it sounds like he's in there grinding to get this stuff up and running for everybody. So hopefully, everybody has him in their thoughts as they're kind of hammering you guys with their latest kind of nitpick or suggestion or feedback. So super cool. Hey guys, well, I definitely appreciate it. Thanks. I know today is, every day. Doesn't it feel like every day in Top Shot world is a busy day? But I was just going to say today's maybe an especially right as we're recording this. So I appreciate you taking the time, and hopefully everyone finds this really useful. I think they will, to be able to kind of get a walk through the site. And I'll be keeping an eye on the site, obviously, and keeping active in the Discord. And maybe we on the site, and maybe there's some new things to talk about. So if you guys are open to that. If not, it was definitely a pleasure talking to you today, and I appreciate the time.
Definitely. Yeah, we'll be back. Thank you.
Yeah,
So much.
definitely. Likewise, Matt.
Cool. Thanks.